You're watching the Fox 5 Morning News.
All right, follow me on this. When you're stressed out, you're tempted to do more. How do you say no without feeling guilty? Gina DeLapa is America's ultimate reminders coach, joining us this morning on saying no with a smile. Hi, Gina. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Raul.
I'm glad you said yes to being on the show this morning and didn't say no. Let's talk about people who fill their schedules. And we always talk about wanting and needing that me time that's so important, but yet we keep filling the schedules because we can't say no.
Right.
What do we do?
Well, you know, I think we start, Raul, with counting the cost, and so often we gloss right over that step. But we have to count the cost and say, you know, if saying yes to an offer is going to stretch us too thin or compromise our integrity or just mess with our good mood, we have to pay attention to that. And ultimately, whether we say yes or no, I think the key is to think it through and make your decision with confidence and move on and not look back.
Okay, so here's the tricky part. When you start saying no often, friends may stop inviting you to things because, oh, that's the guy who always says no. So how do you avoid that?
How do you balance that? Well, I think the key is you know, say yes when you can or when you want to, but it really has to work for both parties. Or sometimes you can pitch an alternative. Maybe you can't attend the party, but you can say, let's get together later in the month for drinks or something like that. So you're not just closing the door in their face. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
And, saying no at work versus saying no socially in your real life with friends, totally different things, right? So how do you say no to your boss, or when somebody, you want to be a team player, you want to do your job, but how do you say no to your boss?
You know, carefully and diplomatically and sparingly. We all have to pick our battles in the workplace. And what I like to do is build up my own equity and say yes as often as I can, so that when I truly need to say no, I have the emotional bank account built up. And I find that works. You know, everybody has to pitch in to meet that critical deadline now and then, but some battles are more crucial than others.
That's true. You know, I love that phrase, emotional bank account. I think more of us need to take stock in that. The emotional bank account. You don't want to drain that. Let me ask you about, you say, be cheerfully crabby. See, now I take that to heart. I think a lot of times I tend to be a cheerfully crabby. Explain what that means.
Cheerfully crabby, you know, it's one of my gifts too.
Yes.
I got this from an old coworker of mine who years ago just declared, I don't want to say grace over a plate of nachos. And it was very random, but I love the refreshing honesty of that.
Yeah.
So what I would say to our viewers is figure out what you don't want to be doing, whether it's watching the neighbor's dog or taking a friend to the airport, and just cheerfully declare yourself done with it and own it.
And own it. That's the key. Own it.
The first key, you know, the first sale, Raul, is always to yourself.
Right, 100%. Go all in on it. When you say no to something, see, I don't have a problem saying no, but I tend to do this. I feel like I then owe an explanation why I said no.
Yeah, you know, unless you're in court, don't explain.
Don't explain.
Don't explain. And, you know, obviously the dynamic is different with a boss or a coworker, a family member, than, you know, the lady at the grocery store. Some people deserve more of an explanation, but, you know, generally speaking, if you're going to give an explanation, keep it brief and friendly, but unequivocal, because if something really isn't up for discussion, why give the other person the illusion that it is?
I love that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's easy to say no and just tell the truth. You want to go to the party? No, I don't want to go to the party. That's the thing. And also, lastly, the key to avoid the burnout feeling a lot of people get in the summertime, your kids are home more, or you get more of these party invites. Every weekend is a party for something or other. How do you deal with that?
Again, I think if you identify what really fuels your energy instead of drains it, say yes to the important things, put those on the schedule this summer, and it becomes a lot easier to gently say no to the things that are less important. And, you know, you might even find, Raul, that saying no becomes a bit of a guilty pleasure. But again, you can make another alternative. Say, you know, we're not going to be able to attend the party, but let's get together later on and you know, make it work for everybody.
You give them another option, a solution. You know what? I'm going to come up with the Gina DeLapa app. And
Please do.
You know? And then you just hit the button.
To do that.
And then your face comes up and it solves all your life's problems. Gina, thank you again as always. You can log on to fox5sandiego.com and click the Scene On tab to get in touch with Gina. Thanks, Gina.
Thank you, Raul.
All right, let's get it back over to you now.